Hi and welcome back. It's Laura at Hyperstamper. I have got another fun beach journal, and I get very excited when I find one of these bunny browns where they are walking on the beach and got the little pail, and it's just so sweet. Now this one is very old. It's still intact. There is some wear here, but that for me that doesn't bother me because it just means that it was read and loved a lot. But it's still the original cover. So before I put this in my Etsy shop, just a reminder to my American friends that there's no tariffs on my journals, and shipping is done by courier, so there's no postal delays. So let me take you on a little tour inside and show you all the authentic vintage and antique ephemera, no digitals or commercial products, and I've stuffed in as many beach themed inserts as I could. So there's the original first page. Of course, this is a Laura Lee Hope book, and it is from the 20s, 1921, I believe. This is really fun. It's a vintage educard, and it's got the beach balls on it. Gotta have beach balls at the beach. And this is from 1934, and it is from a Paris, France almanac page. And we've got this wonderful beach scene here. Look at the bathing cap there. I think that's hilarious. It's really quite spiffy for 1934. And yeah, I think that is a wonderful little piece there. And this one here is also from the 30s, and this is a little girl's swim outfit and what they would have called a bathing costume. And this was a stick-em book, so the kids cut it out and pasted it in. They didn't do a great job here, but I think that makes it even more sweet. This is a vintage map from the Atlas of America book that I have. And over here, look at this. I really had a hard time giving this one up, but just because of how amazing it is. So it's a family photograph. It was turned into a postcard by the photographer. It is from the early 1900s. Look at how they dressed at the beach. I love it. Look at this fella in his little tam, this gorgeous hat, the little bathing cap here, and they're all wrapped up in their towel. I love it so much. And anyways, whoever owns this journal, I hope loves it as much as I've loved it these years. Time to let somebody else enjoy it. And here is a vintage Birds of North America book, and these are all your beach birds, the sandpipers. And over here I have a things to make and do page from the 50s, how to make a fun container out of seashells and clay. And this is really neat. This is a 1920s photograph. Mrs. Downard and mother at the beach down at the docks there, and it looks like they've been for a swim. Look at that awesome boathouse. Oh, it's just great. Wonderful. Love it. And we've got a 1940s page here. Now this is just a fun little booklet. It's vintage. It's 54 years old. All about crabs. And you find crabs where? At the beach. So that gets to live in here for now. This is just a really fun Raggedy Ann page, and to me it looked like she was sitting on some sand here. And that is from the 50s as well. There she is again. And then I've got these two vintage playing cards, which you can do a lot of fun upcycling with. Google it. It really is fun, and that's my favorite. Yeah. Prince Edward. Really fun clusters throughout here as well. Bear's Picnic. And this is a plate from the early 1900s, an Alpine Glacier. And there's another beach bird there. And then this is a vintage Shells of the World book. Isn't that neat? And then there's more of that map here, got the East Coast down here. This is a great, I wanted to get a map from a country that has great beaches, and that one is from New Zealand, and that is 1913. Pretty cool, I believe. This is another page inserts. My friend Paige sent me this, and it is a letter from France, but it's actually somebody who went to the Casbah, so chez frère, which is a dear brother, and then a whole wonderful letter all about the time that they're having at the Casbah in Morocco. I love that. I really do. And that is from 1938. So that would have been during the war. That's very cool. Very special piece. So thank you, Paige, for that. And then over here, I've got an old postcard from 1937. And this was written from Massachusetts to Nova Scotia. And that is a beach in Massachusetts, Wollaston Beach. And then back here, that's a 1904 garden page there. And this one, sorry, you only get one. This one here is how a lady would write a letter. It's from the 1800s. And this particular one is from a little girl wanting to come home. She has to write a letter to ask to come home. And it's really quite endearing. I love those. This is just a little wraparound pocket, some sweet little ducks down at the beach. And here is a beach plate from 1904. The Island of Rum from Erseg. I think that's in Scotland. It's very neat. And that's a vintage, what do I want to say here? Sorry, a vintage nature page. This is really cool because it is the introduction to A.A. Milne's book, Now We Are Six. And it talks about Winnie the Pooh down here, which is kind of fun. And that is a very old 100-year-old page. Then I've got this really just a silly little insert here from mid-century. And this is a very beautiful page. It's not the best picture of him, but there you go. Yeah, so from the 50s as well. Just a really cool little insert there on the royal family. This is the interior underspine of an antique book. And let's see, do you know who this is going to be? Can you guess already from her eyes? A lot of you might not know who this is, but that is Doris Day. And that would have been a pinup. So some teen soldiers may have put that up in their lockers, or kids in their school lockers. And yeah, then the back side is just about a movie star in Hollywood and his pretend family life. And then there we go, more vintage nature pages. And this is from 1955, this postcard here, the Maryland Yellowthroat. Isn't that beautiful? So that's really a special piece. That is from the 1930s down there. And the reason I put it here, it's a little page with Goldilocks. And the story used to be called Golden Hair. And now it's Goldilocks. But there's the bear and there's Goldilocks. So I thought that was kind of a fun thing to do. This is from the 1890s, this beautiful little poem here. It's really nice. And I put antique paper on the back so that you can journal on there or add pictures. There is a fun vintage coupon, Milmar Foods. And then you get this whole, so this is a beach kind of theme. This is a whole souvenir pack from St. Petersburg, Florida, and this was sent in 1955, so this is 70 years old, and it's got all of these wonderful pictures of St. Petersburg, one of the most popular beaches, I would imagine, in America. And so, yeah, that's a treat, eh? But look at that, isn't that great? It is just so kitschy and fantastic. And that goes in this pocket here. And then I just did this really great cluster over here. I love it. And using all antique paper there. And then this is also from the 1927, actually, from my book house. This is a vintage pattern sheet. And this is a, is this Fun? Yeah, Fun with Dick and Jane. They're at the garage. And whoop, whoop, over here, this is 1927 catalog here. And I just love this new stove. It's beautiful. $72. I would love that in my kitchen, to be honest. It's much more beautiful than the stoves we have now. And this is one that my friend Stacy sent me from Michigan. And it's this whole little mini pack of cards, a little game. But look at the little fairies on here. Isn't that adorable? I love it. Thank you so much, Stacy, for that. And then this is a 19 vintage Flinch card. And then this is a bookmark or book tag that I made out of a book. The book cover, the hardcover. And then in here is a 100-year-old or more bar loop eyes card. Look at the great font on there. Isn't that wonderful? Oh, I just love it. I would like to put that in a frame. I think it's beautiful. I have a few left of that, not many. And then this here is from the 1920s. Look at these awesome costumes. The Brave Tamille. Obviously, this is a French story, but it wasn't, it was written in English. And here we have, since we're at the beach, we have boats at the beach. So we've got a motorcycle ad on here. This is from 1953. And then this is a popular science book, motorboats there as well. This is just a really beautiful plate from the 1800s from Chatterbox. And a 1940s theater arts page, and more beach things that you would find in the water at the beach. Isn't that great? And that is from 1959 sticker book, educational sticker book. And this is, it's not as old as a lot of my postcards, but it is still authentically vintage because it's from 1969. And yeah, I just love that. It is a Birch Bay scene in Washington. That's fabulous. And that's just a really pretty vintage plate from Birds of America book. And more fun with Dick and Jane at the farm here. And a 1960s payday card. And I just glued this down. It was a fussy cut I got from a book called My Dad Can Fix Anything. And this is from the 1800s here. And then that is another vintage postcard from 1958. I turned it into a pocket. And then I just put a whole bunch of antique paper in here so that you had lots of places to journal, or if you wanted to use it to make booklets or collages or a little project, you've got some extra paper there to do that. This is a early 1970s birthday party invitation with its original little envelope. And I wonder if anybody can guess what this is. This came with a pack of paper dolls, and some little child along the way took the paper doll and made more clothes for it. And I think that is so adorable. So that's a little bathing suit for the little paper doll that she had. I think that's just wonderful. That just warms the cockles of my heart. And then this is the interior spine of the book. And then that is just a great antique page there with paper on the back for journaling, and George Sandsbow store from the 70s. That's vintage receipt. And then this here is from 1956, The Magic Garden. Look at this beautiful illustration of this ballerina dancing down at the beach. And then we have this 1850s Hogarth steel-plated engraving, and it is stunning. And there we go. Here, that's another book from the 40s. And then this here is a dragon scene. I've wrapped it around, but they are also at the beach. You can see their little sand castles and beaches and pails there. And then this is a 1950s recipe book page, and we've got picnic buns down here. I thought we often take our picnics to the beach. And then last but not least, I have another insert here. It is not beach related, but it is just a whole ton of fun. And I love the colors on it, and I love how the publisher laid it all out from a children's magazine from the 50s. And then a 1904 plate from My English Garden, and that is the last page of the book itself. So I hope you love this as much as I loved making it. Hyperstamper.etsy.com. I hope you'll subscribe, come back soon, leave me a comment, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.